The Hump, episode 1. Who are these clowns? About how to get one over in this thing called life. So if you watch the first episode, if you were one of the three people to watch the first episode, we're going to cover some of the same ground, but we're also going to cover a little bit of new ground. If folks are watching, my name's Brent, and have done this thing in the past, not on video, so I'm not quite, I'm not quite as comfortable. You and I are both wearing jackets.
You got a face for radio.
Yeah, I do have a face for radio. So I was a podcast host for 8+ years, and so I'm comfortable talking to that thing. And you and I drink a lot of beer and talk to each other, but maybe not talking to the camera so much. So
right.
We'll see. Even though I have a background in some broadcast, they told me I was going to have to lose 40 pounds and I was going to work in Chinook, Kansas and earn $16,000. I went, check, please. I'm going to go do something else. So, but anyway, I've done podcasting in the past. I currently run my own marketing company, which I really want to strangle one of my clients right now. But we won't get into that here because I love them. They pay my bills. They pay the mortgage. And then, and people hear this from time to time. The other thing about me that folks should know is, if they follow on the blog, they know I'm happily married and have a couple little versions of me, although they look much more like my wife. Thank you. And, but I'm a big proponent of the arts. I'm on the board of directors of Kansas City Young Audiences, and we'll probably have somebody on the show from that organization at some point in time. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about you?
Chad Beeland, I'm a middle-aged man. I enjoy traveling, hanging out with friends, drinking a lot of beer with this guy. I really have no such ambitions like you. I'm not trying to get on the board of any directors. You and I do this all the time, get together, have a few beers. We thought, turn a camera on, maybe, something worth looking at.
Yeah. Well, something worth looking at. Why don't we talk about that a little bit? I mean, you and I could obviously just go to the bar and do this, just you and me. So why did we decide, or why, in your mind, why did you decide to join me in this little endeavor to actually, do something and share it with people out there? You and I could go, we could be at, Lucas Liquors on State Line right now, having a beer and watching basketball. Why did we decide to do this?
Because you asked me mostly. I know we tend to think we're entertaining. We make each other laugh, so who knows? Maybe we can make somebody else laugh. But I don't know. I think we've gained a certain amount of wisdom on our time here on this rock, and we can help one person. Just reach out and touch one person. I think that the mission will be accomplished.
That's the goal.
I think we might only be talking to one person right now.
Right now.
We're actually talking to two people.
We're talking to two people.
Gary actually says, Chad, I've been mispronouncing your name this whole time.
The Gary Bear is on.
The Gary Bear is on. All right. Hey, Gary. We are, in fact, always talking to one person because we actually have a producer in the room. So that guarantees that we're always talking to one person.
That's true.
And he was choking, I think, a minute when he said we had something to offer the world.
Well, I like to think that we're on to something if he just even snickers a little bit,
We're okay. Here's the thing. I know we did this because you and I have a great time together and have a lot of fun. You and I also and the reason why we called it The Hump was we might at some point through experience have some wisdom or at least some growing pains that we could share, and hopefully most of those are inspirational and kind of help people get over that proverbial hump. So
most of the best life lessons are ones when you fail and make an ass of yourself. So, if we can help one person prevent that from happening, again, mission accomplished.
Or as gracefully as possible navigate through it, because I know I have those are in ample supply. Yes. Those moments where I made an ass of myself. So, and one of the other things I really appreciate are people. You've got all of these individuals out there that they're getting recognition, and it seems like it's the same type of people over and over and over again. And I think this gives us the opportunity to maybe shine a light and showcase some people that otherwise wouldn't get some recognition. I think we have a tremendous opportunity, maybe to 3 people, at least introduce them to some other awesome people. We've got Gare Bear on the. Hey, Gary would fit into that.
Perfect,
into that camp. So,
well, we both love Kansas City. I mean, that's where we're from. I mean, we love traveling, but this is our home. This is where we know a lot of people that are doing a lot of good, and I think we can, bring some of those people in and kind of let them get a taste of everything Kansas City has to offer.
Yeah, and really showcase that, which we're going to touch on. So you kind of transitioned a little bit to topics, even just talking about Kansas City. So we talked about, travel. We talked about Kansas City. What topics really kind of pique your interest from the standpoint of what we're going to cover as we're doing this thing?
Yeah, I think like we said, we're middle-aged men, so there are things that we're running into on a daily basis that they're funny because they're true, but like getting old in general, colonoscopies. That's a subject I know a little too much about.
Yeah. That's like this is National Colonoscopy Month. I probably just
it's every month for me, man.
It is every month for you.
Yeah.
I do not. I'm not ready, man.
It's coming, brother. It's coming.
I am not ready.
Yeah.
I am not ready. Well, one of the other topics we're going to impart life lessons, and our producer probably is somebody we probably need a corner at some point in time. You and I are both the fathers of daughters.
Yes, I have 2 daughters, and they're getting older. I'm getting ready to have one to go off to college. It's very scary.
Yes,
very
and
scary.
the college one, this gentleman could have in fact oogled her at school, and you would have not known it. So he's turning to be red.
I didn't.
All right,
watch yourself, man.
So, and I have a son too. So that's the thing. That's the thing. I've got one of each.
Kind of the flip argument to that.
Yeah, not only the flip argument. It's I know through some family experience about how that can be a dangerous proposition. And my son and I have already had that conversation around. You have a device called the iPhone now that will help you in a court of law. So we've not only had the condom conversation, it's if you end up doing something and you're above age, you need to check ID, not only 1, check ID, but 2, then grab that iPhone, take picture of said ID. So when you appear in court, you can go, this was what was served, Your Honor. So
due diligence.
This is the kind of life wisdom we could be sharing. I don't think a lot of teenagers are going to be watching us. But
no, and we were both teenage boys a long time ago, so we know what that was like.
Yeah, definitely what that was like. So I know we're really excited about a couple other topics like body hair. That's a perpetual issue. Yeah,
like,
that is.
We're growing it where we don't want it, and where we do want it, we're losing it. It's an issue to deal with, that's for sure.
I think we need to set the camera where our heads never actually show at this point.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to, whenever I do that, I'm going to constantly wave like that.
Cool dad. I mean, I'd like to think that we're both pretty cool dads for the most part. I mean, we like to have fun and do things, but my kids probably would say otherwise.
Yeah, mine would too, other than they like it when I make a Costco run. That's about the only time they like me is when I make a Costco run, and then there are ample snacks.
I love Costco.
In the house. So we'll at some point talk about our affinity for cargo shorts. Don't get too excited. We will spend an entire episode on the love and affinity and affection we have for cargo shorts.
We'll segue into this other segment in a second, but I just came back from New York and I did a lot of shopping because I was with 3 ladies, and cargo shorts are coming back on the East Coast.
Really?
Yes. And of course I just got rid of all of mine because, you were trying
told
to fit into the cool dad category. But no, they're coming back in a big way.
Drew Midman says, "Can I ask these cool dads some questions?" So I can't actually respond to him in chat, so I'm saying yes, you can.
All right. What's he got?
He hasn't asked anything yet.
No, yeah. He can certainly ask some questions, and if we don't get to him live tonight, and you'll hear about that, I'll certainly ask the questions via comments, and one of us will get back to you for sure. Yeah. So one of the other topics we'll talk about two are kind of the taste for finer things.
Yeah, I mean, 25 years ago, 30 dog, a Keystone Light, and, that was a good night. But, as you grow, your tastes evolve, and you start to get a taste for the finer things. And it's a slippery slope, because once you start down that path, it's hard to go back. Like, I wouldn't drink a Keystone Light anymore, and the same goes for coffee or hotel, you name it, like traveling, anything. Like, once you get a little taste of the good life, you don't want to go.
Yeah, you don't want to go. You want to go back.
All right. So first question: is VR a gimmick for children or the future?
VR, was that from Drew?
It's from Drew.
From Drew. Interesting. We're talking about virtual reality in the first.
I remember The Lawnmower Man. That friggin' movie came out in like 1991, and it had VR in it, and I was so excited because, holy shit, this is a Stephen King movie. It's going to come true. And time has gone and gone and gone, and it really hasn't caught on, but it's going to catch on.
That's a good full topic, Drew. I think we're going to flag that one. I will tell you too, and I'll put it up when it comes live. I'm actually writing a guest post for a friend of mine. She's the proprietor of a blog called KC Geeks. And I read Ready Player One.
Yes.
And I'm excited for the movie, and I'm gonna be doing a guest blog post on her blog about kind of a page to screen review and the differences. It's interesting. The kids have been playing the Sony PlayStation VR quite a bit. I'm a bigger proponent of AR, which is augmented reality and integration. And actually, Drew, I need to get back with him. Mark Logan's a colleague / friend of mine, and he's the innovation kind of lead at Barkley, which is an ad agency, and he explores all this. And I think AR is kind of has more application than VR. That's a cool question. That'd make a great topic. I think it just for us to talk about and explore a little bit. Thanks for asking.
Check out The Lawnmower Man, though. I mean,
it's
the
been
graphics
forever,
probably
man.
look like shit now. I haven't seen it in forever, but I remember at the time it was mind blowing.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch
Jeff Fahey, he's a creepy dude, but it's a good movie.
Well, one other topic that we're going to talk about at some point, although it's the time of year almost to talk about it now, is getting fixed, getting a vasectomy, because it's NCAA tournament time.
Yeah, and that's like the highest number of vasectomies done in the U.S. are done on the Thursday and Friday of this weekend because, guys get together, they have friends over, and they all do it together, and then sit there with a bag of peas on your nuts and just drink beer and watch basketball all day.
So I think we should do, for next year, maybe you and I should form a pact where we'll actually do a show with cold peas on our nuts.
Yes.
And I think this would make our wives very happy if we actually did a cold peas episode. But we actually have to do the deed because you and I have been holding
I know. Nobody wants to do it, but I mean, I would do it if you were going to, if we do it together, that's fine. Not in the same room. Like, we go to our own doctor, but we'll get it done.
Oh, we definitely need our own room. So the other things we'll talk about is travel.
Yes.
And then this lovely nectar.
Oh.
So cheers.
Cheers.
So this lovely nectar. And what is our featured beer of the week? Hold on, that was almost rude. You're supposed to, when you toast like that, you're supposed to drink. You can't sit down.
I did drink.
I didn't.
Oh,
yeah.
That's your problem.
Yeah, it is my problem. So we're drinking a little Boulevard Brewery.
A little home cooking. I mean, I even had the Boulevard shirt on, but
some whiskey barrel
near and
stout.
dear to Kansas City fans everywhere.
Yes. So we'll do that, and then we'll also talk a little travel. So you just recently, you mentioned you just got back from New York. Any other highlights?
I love that city. I mean, it's obviously so different than Kansas City, but what I just love is, like, you see the strangest people everywhere, but it's just a melting pot, and everybody gets. I saw more leather pants there than I've seen in the last 10 years.
Were people wearing cargo shorts over their leather pants?
No, it was a little cold for cargo shorts over the leather pants, but it's just such a fun place. I mean, it's so unique, and nobody there brews coffee. There's literally a coffee shop, like coffee joint, every other building. I mean, it's just nuts. And LaGuardia is a mess. It's in just a constant state of construction, but the city itself is just a blast. It's so much fun to go there.
I love New York. Yeah, I was just there. Well, we went, and then I was just there over New Year's Eve and went to. Did you end up going to the next game?
We did not. No.
Okay, so
We
you and I
opted for the Broadway show.
for the Broadway,
Yeah.
which means you and I have an excuse to go back and go to Madison Square Garden and see a basketball game. All right, that's cool. Well, and then I went to Minneapolis. So yes, no, I don't know if you voted on our poll on Instagram when I did this.
Yeah, I voted on it.
Okay, is Minneapolis a spring break destination?
We're a couple of dipshits. I mean, I went to New York. You went to Minneapolis in like March. I mean, it snowed multiple times when I was there. Like, what the hell was I thinking? But
Yeah, they had
still awesome.
They had snow drifts still in Minneapolis of 3 feet. And it was funny because we were looking for things to do, and we really wanted to go see US Bank Stadium where they hosted the Super Bowl and where the Vikings play. And I was looking at all these different events, and I saw, Creighton's playing the University of Minnesota. I'm like, man, didn't they just play that? That's weird. Why are they playing a basketball game in there? It's it, but we'll have guests.
Yeah, we rolled out the red carpet.
The red carpet for them. Yeah, the red carpet's lovely. And we'll have guests from kind of all walks of life, like we mentioned earlier, people that inspire us, and then obviously, people that make us laugh too. So you and I like to have a good time. So, if you're watching us live, you should know, and that this is when Drew asked the question earlier, about, jumping in with the question. We're going to try and keep these shows in this format live at about 45 minutes. Chad just chucked his papers. We're done.
It's all up here now.
We're going to try and keep this format to about 45 minutes. We're also going to do a companion kind of audio format. So we're going to take this, cut it down to more of a true podcast, because that's my original kind of love. And we're going to keep that around commute time, so 20, 25 minutes. So we'll end up doing that. And we'll end up covering kind of a true segment each week. So one of the things I know you and I want to talk about, although I'm kind of ticked at you that you made travel plans over the top of this, was the sign sitting right behind you. It was Boulevardia. So, based on our love of craft beer, Boulevardia happens to and if you're looking at the dates of Boulevardia on that sign right behind Chad, those dates are wrong. If you show up, you might make one day out of those 2 dates, I think, but it's Father's Day weekend.
Always Father's Day weekend.
It's always Father's Day weekend, which you happen to know, and still you scheduled a trip right over the top of it.
Going to Europe. I'm sorry.
But anyway, we should talk. You've still been following the news, though.
Oh yeah. It's always a huge deal here. I mean, it's kind of our big Lollapalooza, or South by Southwest, whatever.
Yeah, it's a music festival, and they just announced the music lineup too.
Yeah, they always have some good acts. They got 3 or 4 stages. They always have something going on, and they always have taps and tastes. I mean, it's always a good time, other than it being hot as shit all the time. But
well, they've come to remedy that this year a little bit.
For
taps and tastes.
Yeah, that's like an exclusive thing where you can get in and sample beers from 100 different breweries. But usually it's been in like a black parking lot.
Yeah,
when it's 114 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been down that path a few times before. So last year I actually just wore a bathing suit and just would go to the water stations and just dump cups of water over my head. And it was actually quite enjoyable.
I wish you had shared that pro tip with me, because I had reached a point of heat stroke that I was mistaking people in the crowd for other friends of mine who did not show, as you may recall.
Yeah. Well, we saw a couple of people pass out too, which that might have been the beer. You never know.
Yeah, you never.
Heat doesn't help.
But the good news about Boulevardia, because you and I do love the event.
Yes.
But we applaud them this year. They're moving Taps and Tastes, which is really a 3-hour craft beer sampling extravaganza. And some of those beers, didn't we taste the beer last year? It had an ABV of like 20%.
It was like 21. It was called like something like Sexy Chocolate or something. But
it was, everything looked like sexy chocolate after you drank it, I think was what happened.
Yeah.
So, it was.
And of course, we want to try to sample as many as we can, they give you a little glass like that, but we're like, I've had like 114 samples of beer, but it's always a good time.
Very smart. Says you're very smart for pouring water on you.
Yeah. I'm not so bright, actually, but we had a good time.
Yeah.
And then the music, it's always good to watch, listen to the music. Last year was crazy because the weather was crazy, and some of the bands were awesome.
Yeah,
because there was lightning. There was lightning, and they moved some of the bands.
They put Guster inside a parking garage so they could finish their set.
And I love when any sort of artist like commits to their fans in that way, which I think is really cool. And they're coming back this year, right?
Yes.
Guster's coming back this year. Tech Nine is like headlining Friday.
He's a KC guy. Like, he's a big deal.
Have you ever seen him perform though?
I have not. My brother knows him somehow. Like, my brother's been to his house a few times. I still haven't figured out how that happened, but
yeah.
He seems like an interesting cat.
He is an interesting. So I've never seen him perform either. I've bumped into him and actually met him and talked to him at the Lenexa Barbecue Festival, but I've never seen him perform.
So he's a big deal.
He's a big deal. So I'm excited. Beck and I are big fans of Madison Ward and Mama Bear. So I think once I mentioned to her that they're going to be there, they're local Kansas City kind of folk rock. Radkey's good. So the music lineup.
Duncan Burnett. These are local acts. But
Duncan Burnett, the one and only Olathe the rapper.
O-Town.
O-Town, baby. So if you guys don't know, you hear me talk about O-Town. I bounced around all sorts of different, 7 states I lived in growing up. You lived in a ton of states, too.
I lived, yeah.
Drew asks, have you guys tried Mother's Brewery in Springfield?
Oh, yes.
Winter's Grind.
Is it as overrated as I think?
Oh, as you think?
This is Gary territory, too, so we don't want to piss Gary off.
Yeah, we don't piss Gary
off. I love their Winter's Grind, but, for the most part, I think they're good. Not great beers, but...
Yeah. There's a raspberry... There's a raspberry beer that's pretty darn good. I think it's like any brewery. I think some of the breweries... On the whole,
they do some things well.
They do some. It's hard to be.
You can't brew IPAs and porters and stouts and
It's hard to be awesome at everything. And Chad's gonna. I knew we were gonna do this at some point, like not episode 1.5, where you break out your Untapped.
I know.
I'm edgelord.
I'm closing. Well, I'm not closing yet. I'm close. I have 873 unique beers on Untapped, so I'm making some progress, but. I gotta find that special one for number 1,000.
Yeah, I think Mother's is fine. They're not my favorite. They're not my go-to. They're no Dangerous Man.
Dangerous Man is one of our favorites.
Yes. Which that place was a zoo. We went.
I hope you brought back some of that sweet nectar.
Yes. We have some positive comment. Drew says, "Keep doing good work, guys. I got a piece, but this is cool. Cool Dad's Club.
Cool's Dad. Okay, all right. Thanks, Drew. Too bad you're going to miss the Triple D. We're segueing. This is the good point. Maybe just segue to the
pick it up.
The Triple D. I can shoot it to him personally if he's got his contact info. So we're going to do a segment each week called Triple D, and I can't imagine anybody listening or watching understands what the hell that is.
They will though, because everybody's seen these situations and knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, they'll know. They're like universal truths. And we're going to close each show with a Triple D question or discussion, and you and I'll discuss it, and then we'll allow the audience to get in on this. Maybe not live, but through the comments.
Drew says, "Please shoot me that look."
All right. So Triple D, if you're not familiar with Triple D, we're going to throw out a scenario each week where we discuss whether it's a dick, douche, or dumbass move. Okay.
And it's a nuanced difference there because, personally, I would much rather be a dick than a douche or a dumbass. A dick is kind of self-aware and they just don't care. I'm down with that. But, douche is kind of, you're trying to be pretentious or almost you're trying to impress others. And a dumbass is just friggin' clueless. And, what are you going to do?
So this week's Triple D move is someone who drives slow in the fast lane on the highway.
Yeah, that grinds my gears. And
it's actually illegal in the state of Kansas.
It is illegal. I actually worked with a guy that got pulled over for that. And he got pulled over. He's like, I wasn't speeding. Like, what the hell,
But I've never seen anyone get pulled over. And I've
encountered a ticket for it. And I was like, I didn't even know that they would issue a ticket for that.
Was he smoking weed?
No, he wasn't smoking weed. I mean, maybe if he was driving, 45 in the left lane.
How slow was he driving?
I don't think he was. I think he's a habitual speeder, but he didn't get a speeding ticket. He got you're driving in the left lane ticket.
The entire time? Was that the issue, or was he slow in the left lane?
I don't know. The cop pulled him over and said, hey, you're driving, you're in the left lane, but you're not passing anybody, so I'm going to issue a citation. They're probably making a quota. I mean, these assholes are trying to,
That's all. I love that because it's about dang touch. I feel bad for because I know the individual. We discussed this a little bit at a time. I know the individual. I should probably buy that individual Sazerac because he's Very partial.
He is the Sazerac guy.
He is the Sazerac guy. He's very partial to Sazerac. But I'm actually encouraged by this.
He's the only.
I don't know if that makes me a dick. Maybe that makes me a dick.
Yeah. Well, that makes you a dick, but I think it's tough with him because I don't really qualify him in any of those categories, but I just think most people are just dumbasses. They just, not even aware they're doing it.
Yeah, I would agree on that. I think you're a dumbass.
I always try to get a little bit left of those people so that my headlight's shining right into their side mirror, thinking that'll help. Sometimes it does, but not always.
Yeah, I think that qualifies in the dumbass move. Even if you were to smoke weed and that's why you got pulled over and you're in the left-hand lane, I think that's in the dumbass move to like get behind the wheel.
Yeah.
With Uber anymore. And even then, what could you be
doing? Weed, you could never go fast enough to get a speeding ticket. But...
No. But if you're driving the left lane slow, you could be getting one of these.
Well, that's definitely catch somebody's eye.
Yeah, and with Uber Eats, you could just call Uber to bring you the food.
I wonder if you could do that. Can you actually call Uber? Well, I think it's 2 separate apps, so it doesn't work. But that's how they could really get onto something special there is you need a ride somewhere, but when you get in the car, you want like a quarter pounder with cheese and some French fries. So you have something, to nosh on your way to your destination.
Double combine both of the concepts.
I'd pay for that service.
All right, Jay. What do you think there? What do you think? Dick, douche, dumbass move?
Dumbass for sure.
Dumbass
for sure.
Dumbass move. All right, folks. Well, it seems uniformly agreed upon. It's a dumbass move for driving slow in the fast lane. With that, we're going to wrap. Thanks again for joining us. If you've enjoyed today's episode, go out to the He Says, She Says Facebook page and like and follow us if you haven't already. And check out the He Says, She Says KC blog. Soon you'll be able to subscribe to us and rate us. Leave us a comment on your favorite podcast platform. I know we're on SoundCloud and Stitcher, and once the iTunes folks get off their ass, they'll approve us, and you can go like us out there, but I think we need a couple episodes under our belt.
Yeah, let's put some content out there.
Maybe the Apple folks will get it unpuckered up. So with that, thank you all for joining us. Take care.
Bye.